Hey guys, Mosa here, and today I'm bringing you my next divisional round matchup between the Baltimore Ravens and the Buffalo Bills. Now, without further ado, let's get started. Now, let's kick it off with the injury report of the Buffalo Bills, starting with running back Ray Davis with a concussion. He is questionable for the game. Then moving on to tackle Alec Anderson with a calf injury, cornerback Christian Benford with a back injury, cornerback Brandon Cordington with a hamstring injury, wide receiver Amari Cooper with a back injury, cornerback Teron Johnson with a neck injury, tight end Dalton Kincaid with a knee injury, defensive back Cam Lewis with a shoulder and neck injury, linebacker Matt Milano with a bicep injury, tight end Quentin Morris with a groin injury, defensive end Greg Rousseau with a finger injury, and linebacker Dorian Williams with an elbow injury. Now, when it comes to the injuries, obviously only one player is questionable, and I think Ray Davis will in fact play, but he's more of a rotational back, so it's not that big of a deal. Both the Buffalo Bills and the Baltimore Ravens are here to try and get to Kansas City, and honestly, both teams are really good. Even injury-wise, in the end, it's really not that many that are injured. Obviously, there's a huge list, but all of them are going to play, in my opinion, Davis included, who is the only questionable one. But in the end, it's really not going to be a heavy injury type game because realistically, you got all of these guys coming to play, and you got Ray Davis, who is most likely, in my opinion, going to play. And yeah, there's not really much I can say about it other than the Bills are going to be fine injury-wise. Now, moving on to the offense, we got quarterback Josh Allen, running back James Cook, Reggie Gilliam as the fullback, wide receiver Khalil Shakir, Mari Cooper, and Keon Coleman, tight end Dawson Knox, left tackle Dion Dawkins, left guard David Edwards, Connor McGovern at center, right guard Osiris Torrance, and Spencer Brown at right tackle. Now, this offensive line has done pretty well for the Buffalo Bills, and I expect them to do the same, although it is a tough defense they have to face off against. Guys like Broderick Washington and Roquan Smith and Kyle Van Noy, these guys are going to be tough, specifically for this offensive line to deal with, whether it be blitzing or defensive linemen. And at tight end, we got Dawson Knox and Dalton Kincaid. Kincaid may get more of the touches, but more of the big plays will go to Dawson. Wide receiver, Amari Cooper, rookie Keon Coleman, Shakir. These guys are incredible wide receivers, and I expect them to do incredibly well against the Baltimore Ravens, while James Cook in that backfield and Josh Allen as the quarterback. There is no way I am seeing the Buffalo Bills losing this unless they actually get screwed over due to this Baltimore Raven defense. But I don't see that happening. I think that both offenses will be lighting it up today. Now, moving on to the defense, we got defensive ends Greg Rousseau and AJ Epinesa, defensive tackles Daquan Jones and Ed Oliver, weak side linebacker Matt Milano, and inside linebacker Terrell Bernard, strong side linebacker Joe Anderson, then cornerback Rasul Douglas and Christian Benford with nickelback Teron Johnson, free safety DeMar Hamlin, and Taylor Rapp at strong safety. Now, this defense is going to have to go up against a very high-powered offense led by Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, and realistically, Isaiah Likely. I'm not going to say Mark Andrews has not been the same tight end as he used to be. And they got some decent receivers, depending on what happens with Say Flowers, but I'll get to that in the injury list. But still, this team, secondary-wise, got it a little bit under control, but it is the run game. They can fake out with the run game, and they can run it with Derrick Henry. This team will be unstoppable. Maybe even some play actions or read options with Henry and Jackson. I think that that's the big plays that they need to work on. And honestly, it is one big opportunity for the Ravens if they want to make it to the AFC Championship game against the Kansas City Chiefs. But Buffalo, honestly, they have a chance, but it all comes down to how they can contain Jackson and Henry. Now, moving on to the Baltimore Ravens injury report, we got wide receivers Zay Flowers and Deontay Hardy, both with knee injuries, but Flowers is doubtful for the game, while Hardy is actually questionable. And I think that Flowers will indeed not be playing, and Deontay Hardy will. So I'm not saying he's going to be replaced by Hardy. That's not what I'm saying. But in the end, this is going to be a tough game for the Ravens in the pass game. But I still think this high-powered offense has a very big tool, and that is Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson. So receiving-wise, it really doesn't matter for these injuries. It would just be less receivers to worry about for the Bills. But with a running back like Henry and a quarterback like Jackson, I'm not really that worried. Now, moving on to the offense, we got quarterback Lamar Jackson, running back Derrick Henry, fullback Patrick Ricard, wide receivers Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, and Nelson Aguilar. But if Flowers cannot go, Tylan Wallace will take over. Then tight end Mark Andrews, left tackle Ronnie Stanley, Patrick McCarry at left guard, center Tyler Linderbaum, and Daniel Falele at right guard with Roger Rosengarten right tackle. Now, this offensive line has done a pretty good job blocking for Henry and blocking for Jackson. So I feel like it's going to be more of the same. It's going to have a tough time against that pass rush, obviously, of AJ Epinesa, Rousseau, and even Von Miller at times. But still, I think that Jackson will be well protected and that the holes will open for Henry. The problem would be the receiving core. Zay Flowers is out. Potentially, he's doubtful right now. And even so, that's a weak receiving core, not including the tight end Andrews or Likely. Then you go to the run game. Henry, you got Derrick Henry. Just run the ball. And maybe some play actions or read options, like I've said. That's what you got to mostly work on if you're the Baltimore Ravens. Now, it's not necessarily going to happen, but that's honestly what I would do if I was in the Ravens situation with Henry and Lamar. Obviously, for certain games, I would not do that because obviously there would be a pattern. But in the end, that would be a very good strategy against this Buffalo defense. In the end, it all really comes down to how well this offense can be led by Henry and Jackson. Now, on to the defense of the Baltimore Ravens. We got Namadi Madubike. I don't know if that's how you say it, but he'll be the defensive end along with Broderick Washington. Travis Jones will be the nose tackle. Odafe Owe will be the weak side linebacker. Roquan Smith and Malik Harrison will be the inside linebackers. Kyle Van Noy, the strong side linebacker. Cornerbacks will be Nate Wiggins and Brandon Stevens, with Marlon Humphreys at the nickelback position. Free safety are Darius Washington and Kyle Hamilton at strong safety. This secondary is pretty good, but they're facing off a decent receiving core, so there is an issue there. Otherwise, that pressure coming to Josh Allen is going to be heavy. But like I've said it before, both teams offensively, they're just going to rock it. And honestly, it is not any different, Buffalo or Baltimore, when it comes offensively. It will come down to the wire who will win. It could go either ways. And honestly, both quarterbacks are MVP calibers. So it really could come down to that. In the end, I think the pressure on Jackson might be a little bit more than on Allen, because this defense is not as good as the Bills, but it's still honestly a very good defense that is not going to be a factor, just like the Bills isn't, because both offenses will manage to get past it. Now, in conclusion, I have the Bills winning 31-30. I think Buffalo will definitely sneak out a win, not because of Buffalo's honestly, both their defenses are just not going to be there. Both offenses will annihilate each other's defenses, even though they're very good defenses. I think the offenses are just that good. And yes, we will be seeing the Buffalo Bills meet the Kansas City Chiefs in Arrowhead for the AFC Championship game. So my championship predictions would be Commanders, Eagles, and Bills, Chiefs. I think that those matches are most likely to be, but anything could happen. In this game specifically, it could go either ways. Both quarterbacks, MVP calibers, and honestly, even Super Bowl bound Because honestly, we might be seeing one of these dethrone Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC Championship. Now that was it for this video. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Tell me down who you think will win, the Bills or the Ravens. Tell me down in the comments below. Now, remember also to subscribe and go follow my Instagram and Threads for more information. And subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys next time.